सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
They continue his last moment stuffing, and Jungkook kept gaping at that little form, doing that work. He could not help but feel his warmth in his heart, desperate being a little maid. That they wore a white t-shirt, and its front and grey pants. He peeped at they formed. When attention, they looking adorable. He could eat the whole. He leaned against the headboard and drank his coffee. His gaze never. Prayers for him. Came here now, he demanded, when he saw they finished that stuff, when he himself and they looking up and grinned. Jungkook's lips curled up, and that beautiful smile. He peeked at Taehyung over him and sat on his lap, sideways. He raised his brows at the bold move, and they smiled for the form in his forehead with his soft little fingers. His muscle relaxed, and he put his arms around the thin waist, pulling him closer. Stop frowning already, Mr. Jungkook. You'll end up ruining this handsome face. They spoke, ruffling his jet black hair. I'm handsome. He paused as his lips stretched further. I would not marry you if you were not handsome. They bit his lips and chuckled when he smiled at him. And you look even better when you smile, they whispered, placing a soft kiss on his calm lips. Jungkook gasped his waist and felt his touch intoxicating him. Being they could move back, he grabbed his head and sized his mouth in a hunger kiss that his toes willing. They closed his eyes as a familiar, existent sensation starting to build in him. His warm lips against him as the broad clearing their waist. They winced when he felt his hand touching his bare skin under his t-shirt. His fingers were brushing softly. He bit on their plump lower lip, and they opened up for hunger mouth. That he unplugged his tongue into his mouth and dangled that fluffy. Taehyung could taste the reminder of coffee he just drank on his tongue. His small body was, and that growing tremble rubbing against on their skin. His hot touch made their stomach shut in his favor. His silver hand stroking his skin of his stomach, and their legs squeezing around his thighs. Delicious. Jungkook breathed as they saw a lip, his hand hungrily roaming under his shirt. They could only whimper in ecstasy as they took their whiff of strong woody cologne. Feeling his hot lip continue to kiss their jaw, nibbling soft and that velvety skin. They shifted and went his head near to the stomach, reaching his sensitive chest, trapping with their thin material of cloth. Jungkook, they managed to whisper with the sweet torture of his skin. He whispered like a fire that made groan against that skin. His touch was biting on thick and now uncovered shoulder. The shirt had slipped down, revealing the pale skin to his gaze. You're so delicious, Jungkook hushed, clenching that dry chest in his big palm. I'm worried. I have a 10-year soft skin. Although it felt incredible, they hid his face in that shoulder with embarrassment. Delicious, they mourned as he slapped the tongue through over the skin. There was his haze, but that a way to rid off his t-shirt, revealing his asset that burning eyes. They flashed when he kept staring at his chest. Jungkook groaned, brushing his finger above their chest. He felt as he stared at that feast before his eyes in hunger. Can I? He murmured, joining his lips with his, a hand clasping that hook of his back. His hands were fantasized when he felt his legs tighter around him, the lower region brushing against his arm. At his move that they gasped, feeling his hardness. Answer me, Taehyung. Jungkook raps, sizing his earlobe between his teeth. His hands were testing him. Jungkook, they mourned as he left his skin bare. His beautiful, he murmured against that 2 months, his thick finger tracing that skin area of Tae. No, he grumbled, making Tae shiver. Perfect. You're so perfect. Tae's heart was flattened against his chest. Words at their very dark eyes staring to him. They felt himself trembling in a blurry sensation. Can I touch you? They crawled when the drop of his hand between his chest and that lips lightly. They was unable to form any word, and that surge of events. They shrugged lightly when he pinches and scraped his tremble against the skin. Is it okay if I touch you? He murmured, darting out his tongue and taking his sullen into his mouth. They edged his back, his hand clasped in the hair. They whammed as he moved back suddenly, and his hand gripped his chin and brought his face closer to his. I ask you something, he mumbled on his moist lips, his minty breath teasing his skin. Shall I touch you? His hand will reach that headband of Tae pins, creating his inner thighs, then come up to that chest in his massive hand. Here, he cautioned, licking Taehyung's bottom lips and squeezed it. Jungkook jerked off his thick hair and murmured softly, Touch me. It was after that Tae blushed and closed his eyes when his lips left his mouth and took his chest into his mouth. They groaned as he hungrily sucking on that bulb while playing with the other one between his warm fingers. The feeling was so assuring and sensual. Taehyung, Jungkook groaned, grabbing his hips and positioning his head to his shoulder. You're making it difficult. He rubbed his nose on the shoulder and groaned. Stop moving, Tae. If you don't want me to ravage you this instant, smoothed that Tae neck softly, and his rough hand was waving on his waist. Before he could proceed, that ringing of a phone had Tae jumped in surprise. They shooted away from that gap, struggling to unbid that drunk state of his mind. Jungkook, this growled as slowly his mind became clear at heaven back. My flight. They glared at the time and excited. The ground placing that forehead against him and cursed. He secretly wished they would miss his flight. Jungkook, leave me. I'll be late. They turned that unwind of his touch, arms around his body, but that fastened them in response. Don't go. Huh? I said don't go. They heard his deep explain as he kissed that corner of his mouth. Stop, Jungkook. I need to go. They placed his hands on his chest and pushed him back. I am going to change. They stood up and flashing as they covered his chest with his hand. Jungkook let go that, and they ran into the bathroom, leaving him all hot, bothering, and frustrated. Jungkook cursed, glaring at that in his pants. Do you have your passport with you? Jungkook questioned, grabbing his thin hand in his. Yes. An identity card? Yes. They bobbed his head. Your credit card? Yes, Jungkook. It's the third time you're asking me all this. I'm just going to other city, not Russia. They chuckled, rolling his eyes at that huge man standing in front of him. They were currently at the airport. Fortunately, they reached on the time, otherwise they would have missed his flight. I should have driven slower. Jungkook grumbled under his breath in Turkey, and Taehyung peeked at him. Huh? What are you saying? Nothing, he muttered with a sigh, and placed a kiss on Tae's forehead.